Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I'm the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Dallas in the house from PPN, Everything RV News, everybody. So please, if you have a question for Dallas, feel free to raise your hand, and at some point I will unmute your mic, and you can ask your question to Dallas. If you cannot speak, then please write your question underneath his picture on the wall, and I will read those at some point as well. Also, to everybody, for those of you just popping in, I don't know if you've heard the news or not, but there's a pretty graphic video on the wall of Charlie Kirk being shot in Utah at one of his events at the colleges that he does. So please, everybody, prayers for Charlie and his family. I'm getting different reports that he's in critical condition, and others have said a different thing. So, but we're not going to know until we know, right? So please, everybody, just keep your prayers up for Charlie and his family, because he is a fellow truther. He is here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and this is just absolutely it hits really close to home for many of us, putting ourselves on the front line. And so you guys can understand a little bit, what we are doing is it takes a lot, right? And so be patient with all of us, give us grace, don't complain about the simple things. But this is I'm really at a loss of words. But just say some prayers for Charlie and his family. That's what I can say. Also, to everybody, please be careful who you listen to, who you follow. This is becoming even more prevalent as these days continue to go by. um some of the things to watch for are consistency with these podcasters slash influencers, flip floppers, whatever you want to call them, going to the next thing, trying to be relevant. Look for consistency in what they're saying, consistency in their guests. If they get aggressive and defensive when you go against their narrative and they shut you down, if they're I, me, or if they are with one particular I don't know, group, company, whatever, and then they see the next best thing, then they go over there, and then everybody else is telling a lie, but these people know best. Be careful, everybody, because the more these people talk, the more they show their true colors. So it's becoming more evident to me on a daily basis, and I think it's probably you guys are seeing it as well. So just again, stick and stay with the 3 to 5 people, as I always say, because more than likely they're going to get you through your journey here over the hump through the next days, weeks, months, as we come into the craziness, man. This is crazy right now with Charlie Kirk. So I do apologize. I'm a little bit taken back. So I've got just my mind's going. So also, to everybody, if you're confused on who to follow, and I've said it for a long time, if anybody, follow Trump. Follow God first and foremost, but follow Trump, because I'm telling you, he's telling us without directly telling us. So if you want to know who to follow because you're confused, you just don't know who to trust, I get it. Follow Donald Trump, his family, and you'll I think be happy that you did, if you're just trying to find somebody to follow. So also, to everybody, we're being listened to in over 100 countries. So please go follow us on the podcast host if you're having challenges listening to the podcast on Rumble. I don't know what the challenge is, guys, but every time I upload a video or a podcast to Rumble, I listen to it back and I can hear it. So my text says it's fine. Sometimes, yes, we do have sometimes glitches, in Rumble, whether, when I'm uploading it to and from. But majority of the time, I can hear the podcast fine. You guys are going to have to check your settings on whatever device it is you're listening to it on, TV, iPad, iPhone, whatever it is. Check your settings, because it could be over on the settings part of your guys' end, because I have had people reach out to me and say, thank you for that. I did the settings and it worked. So check that out, everybody, because, that does occur. And if it doesn't work for you, go follow the podcast host on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, PocketCast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. Social medias are Jenny Dreed Facebook, at Jenny_Dreed, X, at JDreed Rumble, at JDreed True Social, at JDreed Instagram, the Revival of America right here on Telegram, and the Revival of America over on YouTube. However, I am in timeout over there. So as soon as I'm out of timeout, I will be uploading my videos again over there. However, what I'm finding with YouTube is it's very, very touchy, the words. And when people say they ban you for for simple things, right? So I get it. And because I haven't been over there very long and I've already had 2 strikes. So I'm in timeout for a little bit. So once I get back over there, out of timeout, I will be reposting my shows over there. Also, too, if you have a story or a journey to tell, please, everybody, feel free to submit your stories to TROA submissions at yahoo.com. Give us a little synopsis of your story and we'll read it, we'll vet it, we'll reach out to you and get your voices heard along with your story. But we vet these stories because unfortunately we have found a few that are shysters out there trying to be relevant and just get a fake story and their voice on a show. So this is why we vet them. So again, it's TROA at TROA submissions at yahoo.com. Give me a little bit to reach back out to you because again, I do have a day gig, so this is secondary to me. And once I get able to read them, I will reach out to you. Whether it be probably more than likely email is easier for me. And if you guys have something you want to email me personally, email me at therevivalofamerica at yahoo.com. That is my personal email. Also, if you're trying to get in touch with John Baxter, a lot of you reached out after his show yesterday for the free scanning assessment of issues being wrong with you. It's normally a $1,200 value. He's giving it to people for free for the next 30 days. Reach out to me at therevivalofamerica at yahoo.com. I will get you in touch with his staff right away, and they're good about getting in touch with you right away. If you have questions about Field and his books, email me. If you have questions about Carrie Kasem and her face cream, or with Rick Anson from Brain IQ Health, just reach out to me. All that stuff over at my personal email, therevivalofamerica at yahoo.com. And also check out the website, therevivalofamerica.com. And I just got a thing here on Charlie Kirk. Sorry, I just got distracted. But anyway, yeah, go to the website, therevivalofamerica.com. Check out the newsletter, sign up for it. It is free. You'll get the latest updates on the podcast as well as a weekly newsletter. And then I think we're going to be adding something new to the newsletter, just some things that we're going to be coming up and doing with different people, collaborating. So watch for that. That's in the works. And yeah, just sign up for that and you'll get, we typically send those out early Monday morning or late Sunday night. So watch for that. And with that, everybody, we'll sit here and we'll wait for Dallas to get in the house. Normally he's here by now. So let me text him and see if he's got held back a little bit. But in the meantime, if you guys have questions for me or Dallas, start raising your hands and I will unmute your mic. So bear with me a second. I'm going to go text him. All right, everybody. I just sent him a message. So if you guys want to chit chat a little bit before he gets in here, because I'm sure he's heard the news too about Charlie Kirk. If you guys have any questions regarding that, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we can just kind of sit back and just wait for Dallas to come in. But again, everybody, I highly encourage you to put on the full armor of God. I know, I've been in this journey for quite some time and I know things aren't always as they seem. And I'm not saying this about Charlie Kirk, I'm not saying this at all, but we know a lot of things aren't as they seem. But we've got to, I literally am taken back by it. Hang on a second, Dallas, your mic's on. I'm taken back by it, so I'm a little shocked. But is this showing us that we are at the end of this? Because we're going to start seeing a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of false flags, a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I would love anybody and everybody's take on this. I mean, we could talk about that as well, along with what Dallas has to share with us. But yeah, prayers for Charlie Kirk, everybody. Dallas is in the house. Everybody want to welcome Dallas. How are you, Dallas? Sorry, I'm a little taken back by the news about Charlie Kirk. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I just got confirmation that he's passed away. I don't know what you had said earlier, but
yeah, somebody sent me that information too. I didn't post it yet because I'm getting conflicting informations that he's in critical condition and that he's no longer here. So I just wanted a little bit more clarification before I said that. So you did get that confirmation as well?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. I don't know about you.
My well, my brain and my heart are spinning just like everybody else's.
Yeah.
You know, I had never had the opportunity to meet Charlie, but Dr. J has been working hand in hand with Kurt, Charlie, and Turning Point USA for the last 9 months. I mean, literally going back to before Trump was inaugurated, sworn in. And I just, as I got the confirmation, I saw the up close video
Yeah,
of it.
pretty gruesome.
Like literally almost simultaneously. And as soon as I saw that, you know, I knew. I didn't need somebody to tell me, but yeah, I'm just earlier today, Chaz and I were talking about the Ukrainian, you know, woman that was, you know, killed on the bus or the train, and my unfortunate comment was, I don't necessarily know if I believe that happened because, you know,
You're you're a little you're a little muffled, Dallas.
Sorry, can you hear me
There you
better?
go. Yeah, much better. Go
I
ahead.
must I had my finger on the receiver mic, but
Shame on you.
Chaz and I were talking earlier about the young woman that was, you know, stabbed on the train, and my comment was her reaction doesn't quite fit with being fatally stabbed in the throat. I don't see any blood, you know what I mean? Like the videos that I've seen, and the reactions of the people around her are just, they don't make sense with like the graphicness of what happened. Contrast that with what I just saw with Charlie Kirk. You know, the two completely different images.
Right.
And I just, in the world of false flags and all this garbage, Charlie Kirk is not a false flag. I mean, it not from a standpoint of it is, in my opinion, 100% real. But
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Agreed.
I
And
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, we're kind of at a loss of words, everybody. I kind of feel bad having a show talking about RV and shit like that when all this stuff is going on. But you know, I don't even know, where do we go from here, Dallas?
Well, what I do know is, um, this is not the end or the beginning of anything. You know, I mean, this is a somebody had literally just typed. That's why I had honestly I had forgotten until you sent me a message, because I've been my phone has been going off nonstop all afternoon.
Yeah, mine too.
Um,
Especially now with this Charlie Kirk thing. Yes.
yeah. Well, yeah, and it's since 2 o'clock 2:15. It's been Charlie Kirk, right?
So
Um,
I was sent something real quickly about Charlie Kirk. It shows about three different outlets reporting on this shooting of Charlie Kirk. Some with 30 minutes. You see the time, and one of them showed 19 hours ago, which I thought was interesting. I'll send it to you.
yeah. I mean, that's like the election, right? I mean, 2020, I think, or 2016, I can't remember one of them, but you know, in Spain, they were broadcasting it 8 hours before it happened. 9/11, you know, 25 minutes before Building 7 collapsed. Somehow they knew while they reporting, while the reporter was filming
Check it
live
out.
in front of the building. Yeah.
I just sent it to you. Check it out. See what your thoughts are. Your opinion.
Oh, the New York Times one.
Yep. 19 hours ago. It's on the wall, everybody. It's circled in red if you want to check it out, what we're talking about.
How crazy. Gosh, I literally was just saying to somebody else that this is, well, I guess what was said to me was one of two things is about to happen. Either, and this is very much speculation. This isn't even necessarily my viewpoint. I'm just sharing what was shared with me. One of two scenarios is about to happen. We are going to see Trump and the military flood into these cities like Chicago, Detroit, um, Seattle, and kind of take over, crack down, or we're going to see an influx of what we would refer to as false flags. But as we know, in false flags, people get hurt, people die. School shootings, mass shootings. Um, it's either going to break down into chaos here shortly, or um, it's going to the white hats are going to jump the line and just squash everything, soon. But either way, I think this is a precursor to the fact that we are absolutely coming up to the finish line. It's not, and again, it's not the finish line, it's the beginning. But of all the things that we've been looking for and waiting for and praying for and hoping for and preparing for with this financial shift and this financial change, I think we're right there. I said it today on the show. I believe that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, and we are literally waiting on political announcements. And as much as I kind of didn't want to believe, what I was being told, I think it's in Trump's hands. He's not the final end all be all. Okay, it's going, but it's almost the reverse. Like the United States has played some really, really questionable games in this thing over the last couple of weeks, months. And now the whole world is just sitting and waiting for him to do the right thing. And when I say him, again, I'm not necessarily saying Trump as an individual, but the United States as a country to announce the gold-backed currency, the asset-backed currency, the USN, and then we're going to see everybody else announce those same things. Iraq has been all over the news. Vietnam has been all over the news. Yesterday, Venezuela and Maduro, or whatever his name is, begging for peace, begging for Trump to not send the military, stop sinking all of his ships. It seems like everything is in place. So I was actually very excited and very optimistic before the Charlie Kirk story broke. But again, if New York Times reported it 19 hours ago, now I don't know how that's a keystroke error, right? Because typically those things are time-stamped on entry, right? It's an automatic computer thing. So I don't know how you could accidentally type 19 hours and instead of 19 minutes, but we just have to wait and see. I guess I would love for it to not be true. I'd love for Charlie to come out tomorrow and or whatever, but I don't know. Kind of spinning right now.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing some things keep popping through. Doesn't look like he, and I put it on the wall, that he had any kind of medical aid there. So it looks like they were rushing him into a back of an SUV to get him to where they needed to get him. So I don't know. I would love to. If you guys have questions, I'm just at a loss of words, and I'm sure you are, Dallas. It's just it's I it could be any of us, right? So that's kind of the scary thing. We put ourselves on the front line like this, and it isn't an easy job, right? So but we do it to help people get through, the crazy times. And I'll tell you what, Charlie, no matter how you feel about Charlie Kirk, he did a lot for the campuses, the college campuses. He put a lot of information out there. Many didn't like it, but then there were the many that agreed and supported what he did. So, meaning the students. So, I just want to have all you guys, prayer warriors. We need your prayers. Pray for his family, and I hope that those reports of him being gone is not true. But I don't know. I mean, there's some kind of conflicting. So your guy? So who told you that, Dr. J, that he's no longer with us, or is that like a for sure thing, or what?
Well, I'd rather not say that because I don't want to damage a relationship. But I mean, the person that said it to me, I trust 1,000%. I'll put it that way.
Oh, okay. Well, we're soon gonna find out, right, everybody? So,
But again, there's always room for error, but man, I don't know. The again, that close up video,
yeah, that shot was, yeah, it was brutal.
not even Hollywood movie squibs pump out that much blood that fast. I mean, it was probably a half a gallon within a second or two, in the video I saw.
Yeah, it's on the wall, everybody.
Yeah.
Just it's graphic, so just be mindful of that when you look at it. So, anyway, so on the forefront of your world, Dallas, the RV. What do you know, if anything?
Just what I shared. It feels to me like everything is, and I really do feel like a broken record because I have felt this way for quite a while. But everything that I know to be true is done. I mean, all the processes and the paperwork and the things that needed to be voted on and signed on in Iraq and approved, and the budgets and the finance tables, all of that has been done. The Kurdistan region, they've approved salaries, they've approved the not only the pumping, but the distribution and the sale of oil through the Kurdistan region, which again, we were told is all tied to the RV. The fact that we are, to my knowledge, have fully removed our military assets completely out of Iraq. And what did Trump say very famously? We're not moving until we get paid. Well, they are gone. I mean, they are out of Iraq as far as I know. 100%. And that could only happen if we got paid. And there's all kinds of rumors of 41. I mean, anybody that watches and follows Mark Z, he has been very upbeat. He's been very, very cautious and tried to warn everybody to stay grounded and stay chill. But he's been very upbeat, very optimistic about what's going on. I mean, I'm hearing really positive things. Tomorrow is 9/11. you know, um, what a better way to take back our country and our, um, I don't even know what the word is, but so much was taken from us on 9/11 in 2001, right? I mean, our bravado, our safety, our sense of you know I don't know, and I guess maybe we were egotistical back then, but so much was taken from us on 9/11 back then. Wouldn't it be poetic to give all of that back in spades on 9/11? 24 years later. So I'm hearing good things about going into the weekend. Um, I have been saying for a very long time the 15th has been said to me for many, 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 many months. September 15th, that is Monday. So I'm eagerly anticipating this weekend, keeping my eyes, open. This Charlie Kirk thing was not what I was expecting. But it's also every eye in our community is now looking one direction. I think we should probably force ourselves to look the opposite direction, to see what might be coming or happening in the background, or kind of not in the dead of night, because that's a Democrat thing, right? But Marjorie Taylor Greene and Speaker Johnson and the new, oh man, was it Rand Paul? I can't remember. Somebody else just put in a bill to, actually officially end the occupation of Iraq. I mean, there's a whole lot of things going on in the background that none of us are looking at right now, because we're all looking, we're all talking, we're all reacting, rightfully so, to the Charlie Kirk thing. The picture of the old man. I mean, I'm sure you've seen that, Jenny. The 65-year-old frumpy old man, bald headed.
Yeah, I was just reading something on here that SG and On put. It says, SG says decoy, says breaking. The police have determined that a person who was taken into custody after the shooting was not actually the shooter, according to Scott Turner, a university spokesman in New York Times. And SG puts down on here decoy. So, oh my gosh, a lot of distractions for sure. I mean, I'm not saying, like, I'm right there with you. Like, this is not a false flag with Charlie Kirk for sure. But I mean, a lot of like, look over here when we need to be looking over there, right? But yeah, there's also too a video that Melissa Redpill put on there showing that you can see his team carrying him into an SUV that they didn't have, like a, how like Trump has the ambulance and all that kind of stuff. He didn't have
Yeah.
any of that medical aid there with him. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say, guys. I'm really at a loss for words. Go ahead, Dallas.
Oh, I'm just, I'm getting like you. I'm getting all kinds of.
You want me to just take questions?
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of stuff. Wikipedia pages,
So
about today, and I'm just kind of getting inundated with stuff.
yeah, me too. So okay, everybody, what we're gonna do? Okay, all right. Hang on a second. Something just came through here, everybody. Where did it go? Hang on. Oh boy, just in from Disclosed TV. Charlie Kirk pronounced dead at age 31. Ugh. Okay, so well, that's been put out there, Dallas. So, confirmation, you guys. Like, this is, I don't know. We're gonna do some questions, everybody. I'm really kind of stumped right now. It's just, I'm sure everybody is getting inundated with this information. But please, if you have questions for Dallas regarding Charlie Kirk or the RV, please feel free. We are here for you. So go ahead, God's child. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, God's child. Okay, they request a mic and don't speak. Okay, anybody else want to talk to? Oh shoot, here's another view of it. Oh Lord. Um, yeah, this is horrible. So go ahead, Dallas. I'm gonna let you speak because I just don't even know what to say.
Well, let's do this. Let's let's take charge of what we can take charge of, right? The only thing that we are in charge of is ourselves, right? And our own spirits and our own hearts and our own minds. Let's pray. I'll lead a prayer.
Yes.
I know, you mentioned Dr. J. I mentioned Dr. J because Dr. J has worked with Charlie. I mean, Dr. J is in, I can guarantee he's in some intense prayer groups right now. Let's just go to the Lord in prayer, because I really I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm feeling.
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprisingly, I'm not angry, which is weird, because that's kind of a typical reaction for me. I am just stunned. I'm just kind of shocked. But let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord, I just thank you for this day. I lift up the Kirk family, his wife, his beautiful little girl, um, and Charlie. Lord, we all know that he was a Christian. We all know that he was outspoken about his faith and his commitment to you. And if he has passed, he is not. He is celebrating with you in heaven right now. I'm sure he is a little bit saddened that he left this earth at such a young age, right in the kind of the apex of his influence and touch on this planet. But you can take all evil things and all things meant for evil. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. That is your promise to us in your word. And I stand on that promise right now that this evil weapon of sadness and destruction and death, that it cannot and will not be used for harm to us, to the body of Christ, to those of us that are in the truther movement, if you want to phrase it that way, Lord, that you turn all evil to good and you turn all bad into positive. And I lift up their family. I pray a hedge of protection around his wife, his children, his daughter. The Turning Point USA organization, Lord, they are in shambles right now. I know. I pray a hedge of protection around the leadership and the top of that organization. I pray you would station your warring angels to stand guard them and to take up the battle that rages, as you tell us in Ephesians 6, verse 12. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the powers, the principalities, the dark rulers of this world that serve the dark rulers of the heavens, and that is Satan, Lord, and that we put on the full armor of protection, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, the belt of truth, the shoes of honesty. I'm losing words right now, but you know, Lord, and most importantly, Lord, the sword of your word, the sword of truth. You are more powerful than anything that can happen on this planet. And I just pray for those that are deeply wounded and hurt and confused as I am, that you would calm our spirits, that you would galvanize our steadfastness to stand on your truths, your righteousness, your love, your mercy, your grace, and that would pour from us in this time of tragedy, this time of sadness, Lord, and that the Christian community would come together as never before seen, and Charlie would be proud to be a part of that. And I pray that is what comes out of this. That it is not anger, it is not bitterness, it is not rage, that it is a steadfast commitment to stand on your truths, your love, your grace, your mercy, and that the Christian community would rally together, not only in the United States but around the world, because it is already happening in other countries. I pray that this tragedy would be less of a tragedy and more of a spark for the hugest revival to ever hit this planet. Lord, I pray that you would soften the hearts of those that have built up those walls of anger and resentment and mistrust, for all of the things that they should, and that they would just turn to you, Lord, and that we would come together as a community, we'd come together as a movement, and that we would stand in memory of Charlie, but more so in defiance of tyranny, defiance of control, and defiance of evil, and that we would stand on your grace, your love, your mercy, and your righteousness. I pray all these things in the name above all names, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen, Dallas. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Wow, very well said. Thank you, Dallas. Everybody here, I don't know where we go from here. You know, Cal, I'm gonna mute your mic. You can go ahead and say what you got to say. Ask Dallas a question. But we'll figure out, Dallas, if you want to continue with the podcast or how you want to go from here. So, Cal, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Cal.
Hi, I just want to say that, I'm really confused because I have Fox News on and they're reporting him in critical condition, and we're hearing reports on social media that he's dead. So I don't really know right now what's exactly going on.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't either, because, what I do know about social media, or what I do know about mainstream media, is that they virtually never tell us the truth, including Fox. But I think we just need to stay in prayer. God is an amazing God. I have read, just in the last 2 weeks, I have read multiple stories of men and women of faith having loved ones seemingly pass away, and had just praying, as Jesus prayed with Lazarus in the tomb. Lazarus had been dead for 3 days. Some reports say 4. And when Jesus got there, he said, Lazarus, rise and come forth. And Lazarus did. I watched a video of a man whose youngest son, he had 2 sons, his youngest son had been reported dead by his eldest son. And as they were driving to the hospital, he just remembered a prophecy that had been told to him that his youngest son would come to have a personal relationship with Christ before his oldest son. And that had not happened. And he just changed his prayers, and he went from grief to really hope and standing on the promises of the Lord. And when they arrived to the hospital, the son had been dead for 4 hours. He was on a slab in the morgue with a toe tag labeled deceased, and he just sat up in the morgue and started talking. And when they got there, he was wide awake, no brain damage, and he was dead for 4 hours, pronounced dead. I've read multiple stories like that in the last week or two. And I'm just kind of standing on that, right, from a hope standpoint. But at the same time, what I prayed was the truth. If Charlie is gone, I pray that this would be a galvanizing moment for the Christian community, and we would put away our silly, stupid, ideological, religious beliefs, and that we would come together as a unified body of Christ under one truth: the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and throw away denominational separations, and that we would come together as one body, because that's what the Bible says. It says neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free man, all that believe in the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ are now all the body and the children of Christ, the children of God. And I
This
just
is,
go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I agree with you 100%. And this is what I have to say about that, everybody, because yes, there are a lot of mixed, conflicting reports coming out. I say we need to wait and hear what Trump has to say. Once Trump has come out and touched on that and confirmed whether he is or not, let's wait to see what our president has to say. Because once we get it from him, then we're gonna know. So we know the mainstream media likes to lie. So, and they're already trying to put it on the MAGA movement, saying that the shooter was just celebrating with shooting shots in there. Give me a effing break. I mean, that's insulting. So let's just wait to hear what Donald Trump has to say, and then obviously we'll know then. But in the meantime, you guys keep his wife and his 2 children in your prayers, because he does have a wife and 2 kids, and she's pouring out prayers, asking for prayers for the family. So wow, yikes. Go ahead, Ellis.
No, I just, I don't know. I just got an overwhelming sense of unity. When I was praying, that this could be, I mean, if I can only put it this way, if the roles were reversed, and that was me sitting on that campus, pouring my heart out to those students about Jesus Christ, and the truth of this world, and something like that happened to me, I would not want people to be saddened or angry, because I know that's one of the blessings that I have in this movement, right? Is that if that comes to me, do not be sad for me, because I will be sitting at the right hand of God in heaven. I will be very sad that I have left my wife and my children, but I will be praising God as I stand and sit next to him. And that's where Charlie is. And I pray that if he has passed, that this would be kind of a rallying call for the Christian community. And again, I'm so sick and tired of the division within the Christian community. I I do not read comments. If it's a live show and there's live chat, I'll read that because usually it's pretty positive. But there are all kinds of horrible things said about me. I know there's Jenny. I know you have your own share of hate mail, but I just pray that this is the galvanizing moment for Christ and for the Christian community, because Charlie would be proud of that, and he would be fulfilled if that's what comes from this. And again, I kind of told you, I kind of see two outcomes. Maybe this is what takes down mainstream media. I mean, every day I'm like, how many more lies can they tell, right? I mean, how many more times can Trump and the white hats give them the truth and then they falsify the truth right in front of them? One of the things that I love the most about the press secretary is that she is not afraid to call them out on their bullcrap and their bold-faced lies, knowing the truth that they have the truth, and so this if the media is already turning this, which they are, this had nothing to do with MAGA, and
That's just that's what they do, everybody, the narrative. And don't feed into it, stay out of the noise, right? Let's just listen to wait for Trump and what he has to say. And going to your point, I'm the same way, Dallas. I don't if somebody emails me, then I'll respond to that. I don't read the messages. However, I don't really have a lot of hate mail. I get those ones and twosies and threesies, but I shut it down real quickly. They want to come in and they want to complain and they want to bitch about something or a guest. I'll shut it down. I'll mute them. I don't deal with it. I just there's no need. I have better things to do in my life than you want to behave that way and you want to go hate on somewhere else. I shut it down real quickly. So yeah, my audience is pretty good. I do have a few little comments that come in over on some of these platforms, but I'm like you. I don't respond to them. I'll shut them down. I'll block them. I'll mute them, and that way they can't hear the podcast anymore, or they can't come in and try to say anything, because I'm not going to deal with it. I don't deal with petty. I don't, we're out here putting our lives on the front line. What are you doing over there behind your whatever it is you're listening to our podcast on? What are you doing for the movement? What are you doing to make a difference besides bitching, complaining, talking shit? Well, guess what? Sit the F down, shut the fuck up, and move on. That's how I feel. And I just don't deal with it. So I apologize, you guys, but I'm telling you what we do here and put ourselves on the front line in my free time. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm self-funding my podcast. So I don't have to do it, right? Dallas doesn't have to do it, but we're doing it to help everybody get through this. But this is the kind of stuff like what Charlie Kirk has done. He was out there, he's done a great job, and look what's happened right now, right? It's dangerous what we do, right? Like it's dangerous to tell the truth, and that's what it is. So it's unfortunate that you have those people out there, but don't I feel those people out there have nothing better to do. They're miserable in their lives, but to complain about just dumb shit, right? So I don't deal with it. I won't deal with it. Because I'm not about the followers. I'm about the message. If you follow me and you listen to the message, great. If you just listen to the message, fine. If you don't follow me, I don't care. I do not care about the followers. But, I encourage it if you want to follow, because, we're giving great information. We're putting it out there, right? But, if you're that person that's just listening to the message, then that's okay too. So, that's just how I am about it. And me, Dallas, I don't deal with it. You don't deal with it either. So you got to shut it down, right?
yeah, no, yeah, I'm 100% with you.
And I'm very protective of, the people that are around me, that are the truthers with me, right? My guests, other people that are out there putting good information out there, the ones that are really sticking their neck out there, doing good, not the flip-floppers, not the liars, not the ones that like somebody, then all of a sudden they don't like him anymore, and just, it's the ones that are really making a difference and not supporting that kind of behavior. So, yeah, I look out for my tribe, everybody. And Dallas, you're part of my tribe.
And you're part of mine, right? I mean, I have only been in literally a handful of fights in my life. I mean, 3 or 4, maybe. Like and even most of those, I don't really consider those fights, right? I mean, one or two, but if you want to fight me, there's a real easy way to do it. Don't come at me, because you can say and do whatever you want to me. I don't care. And very few people frighten me. I mean, you might be able to beat me up, but you're not gonna deter my spirit. But if you come after my family and my friends, my people that are in my circle, I will throw hands way faster for that than I will for me. And
Yep, me too.
I'm praying that this is the galvanizing moment for this movement, more than anything else.
Well, we're going to see. All right, everybody. It's a little bit of a different show today. Many of you know, those of you that just came in, we're talking about Charlie and prayers for Charlie and his family, Charlie Kirk. A lot of conflicting stories out there about if he's still with us or not. So I'm just letting everybody know. We'll wait for Donald Trump to come out and speak on it and see what he says. Then I think that's where we're going to get our clarification. Also, too, everybody, it's a little bit close to home for me because Charlie was a very big part of the Phoenix area. He is from here. I don't know if he was born here or whatever, but he lived here, right? And he did a lot of events here in the Phoenix area. So it's a little bit surreal for me. So I'm a little bit caught off guard today, but I'm glad we're really kind of dedicating this show to him and his family, because I mean, it's a dog eat dog world out there, but it isn't easy to tell the truth. So if you guys have questions, whether it be about the RV, you can still ask questions about the RV to Dallas. Or if you want to talk about Charlie Kirk, what you've heard, what you've seen, whatever, please raise your hand. I will unmute your mic. If you can't talk, I'm going to put Dallas's picture down again underneath all this other stuff that's been posted about Charlie and his family, the little kiddos, how cute. You can write your question underneath Dallas's picture. So there's a couple hands here, Dallas. So Miss, well, first of all, Cal, let me check back in with you. Did that answer your question, Cal?
Yes, it did. And of course, my heart is very heavy for his family. And Dallas, you're right, Jenny. We pray for everybody right now. It's a really tough time. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Cal. I feel you, girl. I'm a little emotional and I've been getting choked up here in the background about this
I
situation.
just got this on Fox. Their retired FBI agent was on Fox News and just said this is a shot heard around the world. That's a Q post. You go to Q post, and again, I'm not the Q guy, right?
Right.
But I follow when people say the right things, right? Q post 105. Please pray. Operations are in harm's way, high risk, high value targets. Please pause and give thanks to those who would die to save our republic. More to follow, right? And then there's a bunch of G codes. Charlie Kirk 105, 9/11 105. So I God is bigger than us, right? And none of us are indisposable. That's one fact of life. But I kind of said earlier, I think there's one of two responses to this. One is preemptive, and one is reactive. And I think this is one of those times where Trump and the White Hats have every justification now to be preemptive and to go in and shut these Democrat ran cesspool of cities, with runaway crime, and all that. And so I think this could be, the shot heard around the world. We thought maybe it was
Real quickly, Dallas, real quickly,
yeah.
reports coming in right now. John Solomon, and if you guys pay attention to him, he's pretty spot on, has confirmed that Charlie has passed. He was not able to survive the blood loss. And like you said, Dallas, the videos, I mean, that blood loss was like you said, within a matter of seconds. And the fact that they didn't have a medical team on board, his team had to put him in the back of that SUV. I can only imagine they're probably putting the pressure on the neck. But John Solomon has confirmed that, everybody, he was assassinated.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Vicky Victorious, go ahead, Dallas. Go ahead.
Trump just truth. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understands or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me. And now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. That's a truth from Trump.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay. Well, whew. Take a deep breath, everybody. I know I need to. Man, my eyes are watering up right now. I'm going to go to Vicky Victorious. Go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Thanks, Jen.
Of
I
course.
agree with all of y'all. Like my head and my heart, and I don't even know him, but what he did for our movement. But we also know, and I agree with your prayer 100%, but I feel like the injustice, right? How long has he been doing this? And just like Trump said, the younger generation, the college students, you know what I think is going to happen? I see stadiums of college students standing up for what is right and what is good in our country, and that they're fed up and they're not going to be quiet anymore. Charlie, oh, I got goosies. Charlie has given them their voice. How many, look at, did you see how many people were there in Utah? And that's only one event. That's only one college. I don't know how many years he's been doing this, but he's been packing them in. He's allowed people to have their voice, whether they were LBGQ, whatever the heck it is, or the people who disagreed with him, and people could agree, and he gave a voice. He gave them their voice back, and I see a rising up of this generation of the young kids standing up and saying no more as well. That's what I see in Jesus' name.
Amen. I love that. And that goes right along with what Dallas you were saying. And yeah, I agree. He did a lot for the campuses. And, like I said, some agreed and some didn't. But yeah, is this what we're gonna see now out of this? It's just unfortunate that such a life and a family has to be, done like this, right? So thank you so much for that, Vicky. I appreciate you and I appreciate you being here. God bless you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
you too.
God bless. All right, Miss Grammy, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to comment. There was a post on Facebook earlier that said from President Trump that he's receiving blood, but now I'm seeing that he has died. So that's.
Yeah, thank you. I did put Donald Trump's post on there as well as John Solomon's confirming it. So, Dallas, do you want to respond to any of those ladies' comments?
No, I just agree. KT is one of our online leaders of our church, Dr. J and I's church at Essential Church. And I'll actually read what she wrote because it was pretty, it was very simple, but it was just, once we absorb this shock, we're going to come out swinging, aren't we, Minister Dallas? And swinging not in aggressive, but swinging in faith, right? The fastest growing demographic in the MAGA movement or the Make America Great movement is in the colleges and the young adults that are there's that great video that came out. My wife is an Aggie, Texas A&M, and that young freshman in that class at A&M where the teacher's trying to teach about gender affirming care and all the different genders, and she says, "Oh, that's illegal," and the teacher kicks her out. Well, guess what? The college students aren't putting up with this crap anymore. They're not listening to the garbage, and I think this is going to be a galvanizing movement. But yeah,
Wow.
I'm just getting Q post 2134. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's about to get bumpy. I think this is all. Was this a part of the plan? I hope not, because I don't want to see anybody lose their life. But I think that this is one of those moments in time, much like the assassination of uh, uh, Martin Luther King. I mean, it's going to galvanize the country. It's going to galvanize these college students, even the ones that might have opposed him, because he was always so clever, right? And he never drummed anybody down. He never called them stupid, or even the ones that were just absurd, right? He was so Christ-like and kind in his interactions, even with those that, like you said, he gave everybody a voice. You could come up and express anything you wanted. You just had to be able to back it up. And even the college students that maybe didn't like him because they were told not to like him. It's a lot like the African American community when Trump was being arrested and harassed just day after day after day. That swung so many of the African American community to Trump, because they're like, man, we know exactly what he's going through. Being wrongfully accused, being wrongfully pulled over, being harassed, being unjustly convicted despite the lack of evidence. I think we're going to see a similar kind of huge swing. And I agree. There already have been campuses where they've had thousands and thousands and thousands of people come to Christ and get baptized. Ohio State campus is one that comes to mind last year. We have seen it just recently, and I think you're going to see absolute stadiums full. All of the pictures and the images and the videos of Christians all over the world, France, the UK, Nepal, marching down the streets and singing praise and worship songs and praising Jesus Christ. I think this is hopefully going to be a tipping point, not to be, kind of pun intended, but I think that this is going to be ultimately a positive thing. Again, no weapon formed against us shall prosper, right? That's a promise from God, and he must keep his word. So we just need to look for the positivity and stay positive and take this tragedy and make something good out of it.
Thank you, Dallas. All right, Cassandra, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Cassandra.
Yeah, I'm here. I've got questions. So,
I think we all do.
yeah, I'm just posting on Twitter. I'm just making a thread. So if we look at the Q drops, what you guys have already stated, the buckle up, Charlie is in a drop as well that says fake news, control over those who do not think for themselves, limits exposure of truth. Now, in the video that I watched of him being handcuffed, the first one, he's in white shorts. When they're taking him off into the vehicle, he's wearing a blue shirt and black pants. And
Who are you talking about, Cassandra? Are you talking about Charlie or the shooter?
the shooter.
Okay.
Now-
Your mic is kind of fuzzy. We're not hearing you. I don't hear you clearly. Do you hear it clearly, Dallas?
It just sounds like she's far away, but
Yeah. Can you
Is
maybe
it better?
no. Keep trying.
Hello.
Better. There you go.
So, okay, I'll just restate what I was saying. The picture of the shooter is wearing white shorts. When they walk him to the vehicle, he's wearing black pants and a blue shirt. The Q drop with Charlie in it says fake news controls those who do not think for themselves and limits exposure of truth. There's obviously the buckle up, buttercup, etc. And then there's another piece here that I'm sure you guys saw Nino's post, that this was posted 19 hours ago that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, correct?
yes.
Yeah. Yes, I posted that. I was sent that clip. There's 3 different articles, and the New York Times is the one that posted it 19 hours ago. So yes, there's questions. I agree.
So do we think that he could still be alive?
Okay, so this is a topic that I was speaking to my little chat about earlier, because we know that, that was a topic that was brought up. Yes, that is his part of this this quote unquote plan done. Is he exiting the quote unquote movie? And I hate to say that, but I mean, we've been told that, like you said, the fake news and people that don't think for themselves, right? So That was a topic that was brought up. So anything's possible, right, Cassandra?
I think it is. I absolutely do. When you look at the Q drops, it's apparent to me, and just an internal intuition as well. First of all, where do I get a part of your little chat? Where do I enter that, my girlfriend?
Oh, it's just a little chat with 30 some people. It's a chat for fields. So it's very, very private. So it's just it's like 33 people, but yeah, and and everybody, I don't want you guys to feel, and we're not trying to be insensitive or anything to anything that's happening right here, but through the course of our journey and our researches here, everybody, this has all been talked about, right? That, are they exiting stage left, that kind of thing. So, again, we're not sensitive to anything at all that what's happened. Obviously, the prayers go up for his family, and this is a horrifying thing that's happened. I think we all are feeling a gut punch and emotional about it. But again, we just continue to, kind of dissect it because we know we've been lied to so much, right? And we know the mainstream media does nothing but lie. I mean, they're already putting it out there that they're blaming MAGA already. The second, I mean, after he was shot. So, and then you get this article, you get this little post that I had put out there, and I sent it to Nino. I sent it to a bunch of people about the New York Times posting this, that he had been shot 19 hours ago. So, what does that mean? Was this planned? So it just, and we've seen this before, everybody. We've seen it, like Dallas said before, I think when you're talking about the election. So it's nothing to be, we're not being insensitive. We're just trying to dissect everything. So just please know that.
And then, we've got Qatar, and I know Dallas, we often talk about the RV when we come in. So do you think that Qatar is kind of putting a hold on RV, or do you think we're waiting to see if they initiate and kind of slash back? Do you have any insights on that and where we're at with the RV?
No, I mean, I think Israel striking on Qatar's land is, I think it's more about exposing Israel than it is anything else. My understanding of the RV is that it is all done. It's waiting on political announcements, primarily Trump. Again, announcing the U.S. asset-backed currency, so the USN, the U.S. note. The whole world has kind of put the onus on the United States to do the right thing and to kind of back off some of their demands, because the United States, there's still some ego in our country, and they want to be the big dog in what's supposed to be an equal field, right? So I don't think Qatar is holding off the RV. I think Qatar was to expose Israel. Again, I don't condone or support Hamas and the barbarianism that they conduct, but those leaders of Hamas went to Qatar under the guise of a peace treaty, and then they all got blown up by Israel. Without Trump's, supposedly, quote unquote, without Trump's knowledge. I think that's exposing Israel, not, and I don't mean the Jews. I mean the leadership, which are Khazarian, the Khazarian mafia, which is what really runs Israel, the state of Israel. We know. That's what I think the Qatar thing was about.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Cassandra. All right, Peggy Simmons, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Peggy Simmons. Hit the blue button in the middle of your screen. All right, Lacey, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. All right, so I apologize, Dallas. I almost forgot you were on today, so I just joined and I missed the first part of your show, but I have been wanting to ask you for a while what you think about the stability of our money in the banks. Like, you hear rumors that the banks are going to crash, get your money out of the banks. I don't want to fall for fear porn, but I want to be, wise and prudent. So what do you think of that? Is there any truth to that? Is my money safe in the bank?
Yeah, no, 100%. I hear what you're saying. Absolutely, I think it's safe. I keep as little money in the bank as possible, but that's just my own little stick it to the man kind of thing.
Yeah, I get that.
To be honest with you, my family's at a point now where all of our money is in the bank, and it ain't very much. You know, the from what I've learned over the last year and a half is that all of the major banks have already been repurchased because the banks failed when the Fed raised the interest rates as soon as Trump left office. Every bank, especially in the United States, but really every bank in the world failed because all of them are connected. But the United States banks, particularly, were backing up our deposits with bonds. Well, when you raise interest rates, the dividend and the payout of bonds is inverse to interest rates. So when interest rates rise, dividends and payouts on bonds crash. And we're at the highest interest rate we've been for a long time. And the banks failed as soon as the Fed raised the rates. So over the last 4.5, almost 5 years, those banks have all been insolvent, and they all declared bankruptcy. Again, mainstream media, nobody was going to report this, right? They only reported about 3. Well, they all failed, right? They just talked about 3, but those banks have been purchased by sovereign, benevolent, groups and organizations and countries. So in the long run, our money will be safe. Will there possibly be a short period of time where, banks shut down and ATMs shut down? I mean, that's possible, but at the same time, if they did that, then our economy would crash overnight. And I don't see the reasoning and the rationale of why you would do that, other than to literally wake people up, right? And blame it all on the Fed, which hopefully we all know that the Fed is not federal. It is just a fancy name for the central bank, which is owned by the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the JP Morgan Chases of the world. There's nothing federal about it. There's no reserve about it. They've never kept money in it. They have just controlled the money supply of the world. And I think if banks did collapse, I use that term loosely, it would strictly be to show the world and show the United States, the people in the United States that are just clueless, that the Federal Reserve has nothing to do with the United States. It's a privately owned, incorporated company that's not even incorporated in the United States. So I think your money's safe. If there is a disruption, it'll be very momentary. I try to keep some cash on hand at all times, just to weather that storm. If it is, I think you're talking about a day or two. Pretty short term.
I do the same. I have cash on hand. I've tried to diversify myself in XRP and silver and everything. So I feel like I'm in a good position, but I'm a widow, so I have to keep money in the bank to cover bills, and don't want to lose it. So
yeah, it'll come back one way or the other.
all right, thank you.
I believe. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Lacey. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Dallas? Dallas, you want to talk on anything else? There's just so much coming out. I posted something on Wikipedia, everybody. On the wall, it was just sent to me, and thank you, New MVs, for sending that to me. It says, wait, what is it? Is it Wikipedia? Yeah, Wikipedia. Charlie Kirk basically, shows his death September 10th, today. And it looks like it was posted at 3:05 p.m. And what the caption is saying, you guys, oh, hang on a second. Wait, where did it go? Oh, where did it go? Hang on, guys. It says, you guys, what posted at 3:05 p.m. He hadn't died yet. So there's some holes in the story. Then there was something that the Shadow of Ezra had posted from Harrison Smith over on Twitter. I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie Kirk thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. So wow, a lot of stuff, everybody. A lot of stuff to dissect for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much else. I've shared, what little I have on the RV side. I'm what happened on September 10th in 2001. Rumsfeld came out and announced that the Pentagon had lost $2.7 trillion. And then 9/11, we had the attack, right? Maybe this is the same in reverse, I don't know. I mean, if he's passed, it's devastating. But it just seems, I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't believe in accidents. And so for this to be on the 10th and be, I mean, this is now global news. in the hour in the hour that we've been talking, this is now trending all over the world, all over social media. Um, and maybe it is the shot heard around the world. Um, and I mean, that's a U.S. citizen, a very prominent public figure that was openly gunned down in a public setting. Um, I don't think the white hats can sit idly by on this, and that's why I shared what I shared at the very beginning. I think this is, if the white hats, again, I I always hesitate, like, it always feels weird when I feel like the smartest guy in the room sometimes when I compare myself to what happens in Washington and the white hats. But if the white hats are paying attention, I think this is the opportunity for them to be proactive and be preemptive and take control of our country and get rid of the scum and these crooked judges. That judge that let out the guy that murdered the Ukrainian immigrant. She doesn't even have a law degree. How on God's green earth do you appoint a judge that doesn't even have a law degree, right? Her degree is then DEI and equity and inclusion. That's her credentials. That's not credentials to be a judge. And so I think all of this stuff is coming out in this moment to expose just the idiocracy of our corrupt government, and hopefully this is an opportunity for them to show the brighter side and the light. And we know that the brighter the light shines, the more darkness must flee. So
Amen.
I think we just stay positive, we stay resolute to our commitment to faith and to Jesus Christ and to each other, and just hold on, because I don't think that things get lighter over the next few days.
Right.
I
I agree.
And when I say lighter, I don't mean brighter. I mean lighter. Like my wife, of all people, just sent me a text that said there was another school shooting in Colorado right
Wow.
after the Charlie Kirk thing.
And
Right?
tomorrow's 9/11, guys.
Yep.
So we've got some questions here for you, Dallas. You want to take them?
Sure.
Okay. Denise R., your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Denise. Blue button in the middle of the screen. All right. MJK MSN. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. This is
Hello.
MJK. I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that I can't wrap my head around what's going on, but Phil did make some posts already, which are very interesting. And
Who did?
it's all Phil Godlewski.
Okay.
And they're all pointing to a false flag.
With
So,
Charlie Kirk?
yes. Yes. So
Well,
people wanna go look.
there's a lot of with a lot of people that are coming out and posting things with Wikipedia, posting that he already had passed before he had passed, and then we have New York Times posting what they posted 19 hours, saying that he had already been shot. So there's a lot of holes, right? And then you have Harrison Smith coming out saying that he was afraid somebody from Israel was going to kill him if he turned against him. So again, this has all been part of our journey, right? Everybody, we've seen a lot of this before. So again, we're not being insensitive here by any means. We're
No,
just trying to
not at all.
we're just trying to figure it out, because we're all trying to wrap our mind around it, because it is, like Dallas said, is this the shot heard around the world, right?
I pray to God that he is alive and safe and hiding somewhere. And this is all part of what needs to happen to wake people up. Because what Dallas was saying a few minutes ago about waking, so many people are still asleep, and something drastic has to happen to wake these people up. They're so oblivious to the world around them.
The gut punch, right? The gut punch. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I am the same way as you. I pray that is the outcome, that he has been taken into safety. But again, sometimes you have to show the people, right? So
Right.
Yeah, so thank you. I appreciate your thoughts on that, MJK. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye. All right, Vicky Sharp, go ahead. Vicky Sharp, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. All right, Walter Douglas, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Blessings to everybody.
Thank you.
I've been listening to you for a while. I listened to Captain. I've been involved since we hired Barry Soetoro. This is what I know. From the standpoint of a judge, you don't need a bar card because there actually is no requirement for a member to be a bar attorney. I was part of the National Assembly for the state of Indiana. And so there's a difference between a lawyer and a attorney, one being that they put their hand on the Bible and took an oath, and the one being the other. But the lawyer can proceed and do lawyering without a bar card. So the reason for this part is the judge thing could be, I mean, basically no experience in the whole thing, since it's the U.S. corporation is a fraud in general. As for the shot, I've listened to it, I've watched it. I do a lot of shooting competitively. The people reacted pretty slow. It sounded to me, well, I was told, I didn't see, but I was told that they tackled this guy really quick. He was on the ground. He had a rifle. How in the heck do you get into a crowd like that or set up with a rifle? My guess is it had a silencer on it, just listening to the sound. It's hard to tell anymore. Disinformation is such a big part of this whole plan that
Correct.
It's very difficult to understand. Literally, I started saying years ago, if I don't see somebody in front of me, and I can ascertain the results of something straight away, then it's at least a question mark to me. I love you guys, and keep doing what you're doing. God bless.
Thank you, Walter. God bless you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for that insight. Thank you so much. All right, Dallas, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, no, the first thing I said when I listened to the recording was that sounded like a low caliber shot, right? A 22. I didn't even think about a suppressor, but I know the sound of a 5.56. I know the sound of a 9mm. I know the sound of a 45 because those are what I shoot. I know the sound of a 38 special, right? It sounded like a low caliber, round to me, but I agree. How does and it's already starting to be reported that the guy in custody is not the shooter. The shooter is still at large. And to the lady that said, he had one outfit on at one point and then he has a different outfit on when they put him in the car. Like, there are a ton of questions there will continue to be. I think we just stay grounded in our faith, as I've said many times. And, I think this is an opportunity for the White Hats to be step out and truly be leaders of our new republic. And, I did not know that about judges. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. They're the ones dishing out and I'm not arguing. I believe everything you said. If that's true, that's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. The person that is determining whether I go to jail or not and for how long doesn't have to have a background in criminal law of any kind. Like that's just how that became a reality is just beyond me. But that's the corruption of our corporation, right? I mean, so thank you for that insight. Because that will change how I phrase my comments, but it still doesn't make sense to me. It seems very counterintuitive.
Thank you, Dallas. Anybody else want to ask some questions? Go ahead, Vicky Sharp. I'm going to mute your mic again. Go ahead, Vicky.
Let's see. Can you hear
Go
me
ahead.
now?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't punch the right button a while ago. I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope this is part of the movie thing, and it's not really like we are afraid. They want people to look at this stuff and be more critically minded when you see the news, and it's not a lot of it's not true. So I hope this is the way it is. But I just wanted to ask Dallas, does he know anything about the Social Security increase? We're hoping, we heard that there was supposed to be an increase coming up, but I wondered if he'd heard anything about that.
Yeah, the last thing that I'd heard was yesterday or the day before that, according to the Social Security Department, this is the month. We're already past the first Wednesday, which I think was when some come out. But according to the Social Security Department, this is the month for those increases, and at least some form of the Doge rebates or the tariff rebates. I think they're going to be combined, but I'm hearing that this is the month. But I don't have any direct
You
sources
never know for
in
sure.
that world. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. And I'm just looking at them arresting that gentleman that admitted to the shooting. That's not the actual shooter. It looks like what they did, he had some black pants on. It looks like maybe they were trying to strip him down, and he had some white boxers on underneath. So I can see where the confusion may be. He's got white shorts on, and then he's got black pants on. It was his pants. You can see him being drugged. I'm going to put it here on the wall for you guys to see.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's okay. There's just so many, there's just things just aren't making sense. But anyway, let's see. Anybody else have questions? I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this, guys. So I apologize. But any final thoughts for you, Dallas, or anybody want to come up here and maybe ask one or two last questions before we close out? Because Dallas typically gives us 90 minutes of his time. We're about 15 minutes out from that, and there's not really anybody with hands up. So go ahead, Dallas.
Yeah, I just would encourage everybody to stay grounded in their faith. Again, Charlie Kirk was a very outspoken believer in the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And it's funny, the mention of Israel, right? I mean, I tend to be pretty critical of them, but Charlie and I disagreed on some of the stances that he had taken on Israel. But if he was starting to change those stances, again, not the Jewish people, because I get accused of being anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not anti anybody, right? But I do not trust or believe in the leadership of Israel. They're not who they say they are, and they're not. And the state of Israel is not what we have been told it is. It doesn't diminish the Jewish people, but that's a very interesting point, right? That they've been behind almost every assassination that's taken place. The leadership of Israel, not Jewish people, but the leadership of Israel, going all the way back to JFK Sr., right? As tomorrow is 9/11, Israel was a key component. Mossad, which is Israel's secret service, they were a key component of 9/11 and the attacks that took place. And it was all designed to get us into a 25-year war in the Middle East. So I find it very interesting that that's already being tied to this. So I think we just need to stay, the Q post, buckle up. I think it's going to be more chaotic, but hopefully this is what pushes us over the edge, and we can come out of this, more financially stable individually, but as a country and as a world, and we can usher in, the millennial of peace and prosperity. That is my hope and my prayer, and I hope that shows.
Thank you, Dallas. Here we've got another one from El Capitan. Go ahead, El Capitan. I unmuted your mic. Go ahead. Go ahead, El Capitan. Go ahead.
Hey, Dallas. Hey, Jenny.
Hello.
I do got a question for you guys. It just because I was no fan of Charlie Kirk, and it was because of his views on the machines. And actually, it was literally a conversation I had with Professor Clements when he relayed to me a story about a pastor that he called out as a Fed, as a plant, as a whatever, when he mentioned, because this pastor was very up on what happened to the elections. So long story short, I was no fan of Charlie Kirk, but he, I don't know if you know, but the Scott Pressler PAC really got exposed over the last week, and that has really close ties to Turning Point, and I want to hear your thoughts on the connection there and what you think of it. Thanks.
I don't have enough detailed information, but I do find it interesting, right? And I told you, I disagreed pretty heavily on some of Charlie's points, his point of views on things. And I just find it really the time, again, I don't believe in coincidence and I don't believe in accidents. And the timing of all of this is really, really suspect to me. So I don't have enough information to actually respond to the question or the guise of the question, but I find it very interesting to your point.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Captain. All right, Grandmother 5, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Sorry, Dallas. All these hands started to get raised while I said we have a few, so here we go. Go ahead, Grandmother 5.
About the time I was fixing to hit the speaker, it went off my screen. I have heard a lot of talk about the EBS, EBA, whatever you want to call it, coming out tomorrow. Do y'all think this could be kicking something off to that?
Again, I think if mainstream media continues to spew lies and mischaracterizations, Trump has already, just in the last 2 weeks, has openly. I mean, think about the vitriol that's come out of the Trump campaign, both directly from Trump and from his press secretary Carolyn, about the lying mainstream media. Maybe again, if they're preemptive, they use this this shot heard around the world to initiate that stuff. How interesting, and again, a little bit poetic, would it be if tomorrow everybody's electrical media system shut down and start showing documentaries about how 9/11 was an inside job and it was perpetrated by a coalition between the United States government, specifically the Bush administration, and Israel, the leadership, not the people, but the leadership of Israel. I think it absolutely could be. I have not been told that specifically, but again, I think it would be poetic.
Thank you, Grandmother 5. Thank you, Dallas. All right, let's see. We've got Kaboom. Go ahead. Go ahead, at Kaboom. Your mic is unmuted. We can't hear
Hello.
you. Okay, there we go.
Hi. Hey, I had to, first of all, I had a question and then something popped into my feed while I was talking to you. So I want to ask about that. But all along here recently, everybody's been talking about dates for the RV. Bruce, nobody is mentioning the 11th, which seems to me, just like Dallas said, would be the logical date that everybody in Intel would be saying, well, it looks like it might be the 9/11. Do you think that they've been avoiding saying it for the very reason that it is the obvious choice?
Well, so what do we know, right? We know that a month or so ago, virtually all Intel was shut off. and I mean that literally, I mean, everybody, and I pick on certain people sometimes, but there's one very prominent person that they claim to be under an NDA and not able to share, except they still share, which begs the question. But a month ago to 6 weeks ago, Intel really shut down. I mean, Reno went dead silent, right? And that was done on purpose because most of the leaks that flood our community were, honestly, they were coming out of Reno. And the fact that Reno has just recently come back up in the news in the last this week, misinformation. Again, I've been told the 15th, and I'm not claiming that the RV is going to happen on the 15th, but September 15th has been the only date that has been said to me directly, and it's been said to me many times, and it's been said to me for weeks. I mean, but the better part of 6 weeks, right? Maybe even 2 months. That makes total sense, right? You keep everybody kind of pushing off, and then all of a sudden, the date that actually made the most sense is when things really do kick off. So the one date that I have never heard is 9/11, but as I've been talking the last 2 days, it just keeps coming back up. Like, that's it was supposed to happen 24 years ago on this, on that date, and the cabal screwed it, they ruined it. How interesting that all of this chaos is happening on the 10th as we float into the 11th. So that logic makes total sense to me. And as I process what I have been told or what I haven't been told, how smart would that be to give everybody the false date of Monday, and when really it's going to kick off, Thursday, Friday, into the weekend. We just got to wait and see, but that's a very interesting concept.
And it makes sense because I know we don't talk about him any. Well, I never hear anybody talk about him anymore. That guy, who was his name? Charlie, not Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Ward.
Thank you. Yes, he always said it'd be a Thursday.
he did pick that day of the week, and he stuck with it for the better part of 2 years. So, I'm a very competitive person, but if Charlie turns out to be right, praise God. Let's do this and let's move on into the next world. So.
Hey,
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Kaboom.
May I ask one more thing?
Well, yeah, I've got some other hands, and typically Dallas has to go pick up his daughter. So if you give me.
I apologize.
No, we're good.
Go
We're
ahead.
good.
Okay.
Things changed this evening, so.
Oh, okay, good. The only thing I was going to say, and this is where it gets controversial and why I hesitated. I was watching the Charlie Kirk footage that was disturbing, where you see the blood spurt to his neck. But I watched it again, and I watched an up close version where you see his shirt. It appears that something's going on under his shirt before he actually moves. And when I saw him sitting from the side, there's a big bulge above the back of the seat. And so I'm holding out hope that this was some sort of something. And I just don't know why. Why would they do it?
Well, I got sent another angle, and that's the thought to me, right? Is the Hollywood squib, right? It's a big old sack of red, fake blood, and then the velocity at which it geysered out from beneath his shirt, right? Because it's reported he was shot in the neck, but the blood comes from his shirt, right? Like out from he's wearing a t-shirt, so it's not a collar, but out of the top of his shirt. So I am, that would be awesome if that's true. And that this was, again, I said it from day one. I don't think Trump was shot in Pennsylvania. I think shots were fired, but I don't think a bullet actually pierced his ear, right? Just because of what I know about blood and TV acting and things like that. And the fact that, he wore that little bandage on his ear, which was a really cute way to cover his ear, but he only wore that for like 4 or 5 days. And then there's no marks, right? I have injured my ear, and, I still have scars on my ear where I got sliced open one time. And they don't go, your cartilage doesn't heal. It heals so ridiculously slow. I pierced my cartilage in college, and it took months for that little tiny hole to stop being painful when I slept on it, right? And he only covered his ear for a couple of days. So I think that was part of the script. And I would be so happy if this Charlie thing was part of the script too, right? But we just gotta remain vigilant and just wait to learn. But
And
very interesting points.
There's a lot of things that are coming out that's from these posts that are from 19 hours ago and whatnot. So a lot of holes are happening here. Everybody kind of like with the gal on a lot of question marks on the train, right, in North Carolina. So all right, MMTX, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, MMTX. Your mic is unmuted. All right, guys, I'm moving on. All right, new MVs, go ahead.
Good evening. Sorry about all you guys have to go through. Just wanted to give you an update in France with all the mess. There is a lot of mess in Paris, and we are having a on and off internet. But I'm actually outside in smaller cities, and I went to two cities 2 days, and there is nothing happening at all, except a few cops turning around with cars. I just wanted to ask Dallas if he would have any information about whether it's UK, France, Belgium, or Switzerland, because I have a few people that are depending on my information. Thank you very much. Love to all.
Thank you.
No, thank you for that update. We watched, Jazz and I watched a clip this morning at noon on PPN of the cops being, pelted with what I think were supposed to be like Molotov cocktails, but it looked more like flare gun rounds, and it looked completely staged to me. And to my knowledge, it was supposed to be in France. It looked like a movie set, right? And the fire didn't react the way that it should when it hit the building, and all kinds of weird things. So I think we're being, that's the conundrum. I think I said that word right, of where we are right now. Like to the point of the gentleman earlier, unless you're standing there and you see it happen and you are listening or talking to the person delivering the information and you're seeing it firsthand, it is literally impossible to gauge what's true or what's false and what's AI and what's not AI. And I think we just have to be patient and just slow to react, slow to anger, and quick to listen and quick to be just not forgiving, but just slow to react. So I hope that answers kind of what you were asking or what you're looking for, but I appreciate the update.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, MVs. All right, Gary, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, gang. I listen to Dallas and you, Jenny, all the time. Love your show. But we were at a flea market, my wife and I, and since we were on the topic of RV and all that, I wasn't even planning on participating. However, we were looking at some old World War II weaponry, and a guy was selling helmets and the like. And I saw this case, and it had all these. I saw Boulevard, which caught my eye. And one was $1,000 denomination and the other was $500. And since they were only $3 each, I was just wanting to ask Dallas if that, maybe we got defrauded or whether it actually is real. And if it is, how would we turn those in or during the revaluation, et cetera?
Yeah, no, I would definitely pick them up. I mean, if they're a couple bucks, my guess is that they're pre-2017. As inflation was kicking off, they had lower denominations, and they're actually lower denominations that are supposed to be released either later this year or the first of 2026 that are 1,000, 5,000. They're whopping off like 6 zeros. But you just take them into the Redemption Center with you. I'd be interested to try to figure out what year they're from, but I'm guessing they're probably, just from what you said, I would guess maybe 2013, 2014. But yeah, I would take them with you.
Yeah, I didn't look for any dates on them, but I can certainly do that. How would they know if I had these though? If it was like at an auction like that? Is everyone getting it called in? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, well, yeah. When we get the notifications, it's going to be widely disseminated through these channels, and then we just got to figure out where we're going. Are we going to singular, standalone redemption centers? Are we going to, a bank that specializes in currency, or what? But there's the blue one, the black, the gray one. Sorry, again, that's another question. There's been so much talk from the banking side just in the last couple of weeks of people that are in the know, because not everybody's in the know in the bank. The people that are in the know are openly talking about the RV and accepting these currencies. So when it comes, we'll figure that out when it happens. But just stay alert and stay connected, and it'll be disseminated.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Lucy, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Jenny. Hi, Dallas. Thank you
Hello.
for being here. It's been quite a day.
Yeah.
Have you, there, our necks are going from one side to the other. I don't know if y'all, because I got in here late, I don't know if y'all talked about the active shooter at the Evergreen High School. How convenient that it's Evergreen. Anyway,
Yep.
do y'all know anything about that?
Only that my wife sent me the clip it, and and what I said in the very beginning is that as we started this call, Warren Armour from PPN sent a deal to our group chat that said, "Get ready. There's going to be increases in school shootings and mass shootings following the Charlie Kirk thing." And then literally 10 minutes later, my wife sent me a clip of an active shooter in a school in Colorado. Outside of that, I don't know any details because my feed has been swamped with Charlie Kirk stuff. But there is reports of an active shooter in Colorado. And yes, I don't find it coincidental.
Right. And then it's named Evergreen. And the last thing I'm going to say is we need to be praying for our country and other countries right now because of the 9/11 and everything. Because right now, the what if the rods of God goes off and then people are really going to go crazy. But anyway, yeah, we just need to be praying for other countries and ourselves. Thank you for you guys being here.
Thank you, Lucy. All right, Dallas, I got one more question for you. God wins. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Thank you
God
so
wins.
much. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I find it interesting, two things. One is that the guy that stabbed the girl, on the train, stabbed her in the neck, and then right after, here's this with Charlie Kirk. He gets shot in the neck. Just seems strange. And the other thing is, I saw an interview today. This guy was interviewed and said there's no way that one that they've arrested or can retained a suspect that he's the shooter. He said he knew him personally, and said he's down and out and not smart at all, and he wasn't good with guns, and that it would take a sniper to be able to do what happened.
Yeah, they came
That's
out and said that he wasn't the shooter, that the active shooter is on the loose, and that they've told the school to be on lockdown. So yeah, they have come out and said he is not the active shooter, or he is not the shooter.
Gotcha.
Thank you, God wins. And everybody, thank you so much for being here. Sorry, well, not sorry. It was a bit of a show than normal with Dallas, but this needed to be talked about, talked through, right? So everybody, God bless you. Put the armor of God on, stay strong, head on a swivel, everybody. We are here, we are in it, and we've got to be the calm in the storm. However, these stories play out with Charlie Kirk, the gal on the North Carolina subway. We've just really got to pay attention. Everybody, pay attention to our kids. I can't tell you that enough, especially with what Dallas just said about, just be careful. There's going to be more shootings. We're being told by Warren. So I don't know. Just stay close to home, everybody. And be safe. I'm not no fear. There's no fear here. I'm not about the fear. It's about being smart, having your head on a swivel, paying attention to your surroundings, because we know we are at war. We know there are fatalities in war, unfortunately, and there are fatalities in false flags. So everybody, please, God be with you, and eyes on God, everybody. I'm telling you, get close to God. If you're not close to God already, it is time. It is time to pick your side. God, eyes on God, everybody. That's what I have to say. Eyes on God. And Dallas, with that, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
God bless you, Dallas. Thank you for being here, and thank you for talking through this with all of us and giving us your thoughts and opinions. We appreciate it. We love you. God bless you, and we'll talk to you here in a couple weeks.
I look forward to it. Hopefully you got really good news.
Thank you, Dallas. Yay. God bless everybody. Come back and see me with Silk over on my X Space later tonight. God bless you, everybody. Have a great day.